There was one other thing that I had to do first before I could even start the work of centering myself and decentering my husband. What I had to do was I had to get physically fit. For years, I had pushed my physical health and my physical fitness to the back burner because, as many women can relate, there were just so many things that seemed to require my time and focus and energy more than me. For those years, prioritizing myself just didn't rate high enough. I watched myself physically deteriorate for years. And even though I hated how I felt and I didn't like what I saw in the mirror, it did not feel feasible to dedicate the amount of energy and attention and time that I needed to get myself back on track. But after a year of not drinking, I decided I was fed up and it was time for me to get fit. And not only did I want to get fit, I wanted to get more fit than I had ever been in my entire life. I started lifting heavy weights 5 times a week. I hired a nutrition and fitness coach, and we completely overhauled my nutrition and my diet. I made this goal my second job. I read books and articles. I kept spreadsheets and tracked my progress. I tracked macros every meal, every day. I started hormone replacement therapy, and I checked in weekly with my coach for her guidance, and that included taking weekly photos of myself. Prior to that, I had been, like many women, the one responsible in my household for meals. I thought of the menu, I came up with the grocery list, I did the shopping, and although my husband would help me make dinner in the evenings, the rest of it was my responsibility. And when I started down this road of overhauling my physical fitness, what I could eat drastically changed, and I started eating the same thing every night because it was easiest to track. It inherently was an act of centering myself because I was prioritizing myself, and what I needed was to eat grilled chicken and steamed broccoli and brown rice every night. And I made that decision for myself, despite the impact that it had on my husband, whom I told, "You're welcome to have chicken and rice with me, but if you want something else, then you need to make it." And this was also an act of centering myself when I could no longer go out to eat. On this plan, I had one cheat meal a week, and my husband and I, prior to that, had been going out to eat, 3 or 4 times a week. And so I completely cut out restaurants. I would go a month without eating in a restaurant. And so that changed our lifestyle because that's what I needed to do for myself. Even times when we're on vacation and I still wanted to prioritize my workouts, I would get up on vacation and go to the gym. The whole thing was an act of centering myself, even though I didn't think of it that way or realize what I was doing then. It's been 3.5 years since then. I did get in the best shape of my life. I completely changed my body composition. I have more muscle now than I have ever had in my entire life. I feel amazing. And just like what happened when I quit drinking, becoming physically fit freed up so much mental and emotional space for me to then do the work of processing and unpacking the fact that I had removed myself from the center of my life for so many years. I would not have had the ability to focus on that if every time I looked in the mirror, I was unhappy with what I saw. And I'm not saying this is the way it has to go for any woman or married woman who is decentering her husband or her partner and centering herself, but I am saying that it helped me tremendously to have done this work first.